Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just coming to Bitcoin, big the CoinsKid cruise. So right now Bitcoin's come up going sideways, consolidating the range, and everyone's losing their mind. But I do need to see a little bit more data and structure from the Bitcoin price action to jump up and down and say we're in a bear market. There is a bit of a pattern just there as well. I'm going to go through that with you in today's video. But you know, way back in November, for anyone that's been with the channel, I did make this particular indicator for yourselves called the retail top. How does the retail top work? It's on indicators on CoinsKid.com in the indicator section. Retail top, look at that. Okay, so whenever you see the blue line dip into the red dotted line sell zone, you sell your Bitcoin and run for the hills. So basically this blue line represents retail, which is basically, really simply, without offending anyone, it's the money. Okay, so this channel, for those people that have been with the channel for a very long time, this channel is smart money. What we do, we don't buy these tops. Okay, we don't buy these tops, we buy these bottoms. Okay, this is what we do on this channel. Like I said to you, if you're buying Bitcoin here, you're doing it wrong. Basically, you should have been buying this blood fear depression and the pullbacks against herd mentality when it's in the floor and you're getting bullish divergence on the weekly and you know the daily and things like that. They're the opportunities, and these are the opportunities I've been relaying on this channel for a very long time. So in a minute, you know, we've got the dumb money, which is the blue line, coming down, showing up, buying all the altcoins, buying all the Bitcoin and things like that. And right now we're seeing this lovely little pullback, this basically this retail dump or potential shakeout as they call it in retail. So basically retail showing up, yeah, I'm going to get rich, I'm going to buy all the Bitcoin, I'm going to get rich, I'm going to buy meme coins and this, that and the other, I'm going to get really rich, and then boom, you know, retail drop right there. So there is a potential pattern. I'll go through that with you in today's Bitcoin chart. I'm looking to trade that pattern if we see a breakout in any direction. But you know, right on cue, look at this blue line, the dumb money showing up. And like I said to you, at this point, historically, if we respect the data of what happens at that particular point, the first time we trigger that, what happens? So I went through this with you. A lot of people say you're an idiot, you know what we're talking about. But I said to you, at this particular point in history, whenever we see this dumb money line, basically your blue line pierces this red dotted line, we see altcoins go on a rampage. Okay, and this is what I was relaying to you. This is why at this point I said to you, you know, I don't see that much appreciation for Bitcoin from this point. I actually see more appreciation in the altcoins. And you know, I said to you at the time, I'm rotating my Bitcoin into XRP. I did, and that was an amazing trade because XRP was floating down there around about 50 cents, and it absolutely bolted. And now it's trading above, way above $2. I'm going to say $200. I wish, but it's traded way above that $2 mark. It's had a crash yesterday to around about 190. Triggered a lovely little buy zone for myself and the CoinsKid crew that I posted in Discord right there. An amazing little sweet spot right there that got triggered, and you know, it's doing well from that. It's had a nice little reaction. So going forward, obviously at this point with the retail showing up right now, we do have the probability is increasing of a bear market. So please remember that, you know, if Bitcoin rolls over here and enters a bear market or a bigger macro correction, then the clue really is in the data that, you know, retail showing up in droves and they're getting dumped on right at the tippy top of the run for Bitcoin. So this is where we have to exercise a bit of caution, because like I said to you, at this point, if you're buying Bitcoin here, you know, anticipating 150k or 200k or a double or whatever, or 50% move or whatever, you're doing it wrong. The opportunity is actually in all this blood fear and depression right towards the end of the run. It is in altcoins, and this is why we've seen such a beautiful massive move up in altcoins, and the trigger point was this data point here that I relayed to you. So, you know, historically, again, you know, whenever this happens again, we enter a bear market at any point or whatever, then we just got to keep an eye on the retail top in future. Take a note, write in your notebook that whenever, you know, Bitcoin trades down and it's trending down and starts to come back up, and in history and time in the future, you know, we get this trigger warning again, then we're all in on altcoins again. We sell everything we've got. We sell the kids, the cars and everything like that. We just go all in on altcoins because that was a trigger point. Pretty much every single altcoin's bolted from, you know, early November right there, and it's done incredibly well. So again, hopefully these times come again in the future. I don't see why they won't, but these are just the data points I relay to you, and I've gone through historically how an amazing data point that is. And again, I relayed that data to you. Go back to the videos on that time frame and XRP and Bitcoin and things like that. People saying, no way, you know what you're talking about, blah blah blah, but it's just data. Okay, so far so good, but there's no bias on this channel. There is a bit of a pattern that I'm looking to trade on Bitcoin. I'll go through that with you, but there is a concerning shot right now. There is a concerning data point that typically whenever we see the retail show up like this in droves, you know, we do begin to see some kind of topping and some kind of, you know, bigger correction occurring in the crypto markets, especially for Bitcoin. So let's be careful here. Okay, if you are jumping into Bitcoin expecting that 150k or 200k or whatever, or 400k or 500k or 1 million Bitcoin and things like that, just be careful. We just need to see a little bit more data here, a little bit more structure to, you know, to say, okay, this correction's in, a nice little opportunity, just like this drawdown was an opportunity, this was, and this was. we need to see the data stack up in the structural data for Bitcoin going forward. So I'll dive in on exactly what we need to see going forward. But we're doing incredibly well in this crypto market so far. I'm not going to call a bear market just yet, but we do have a warning shot that we're getting very close to one, because historically, if we go back and we respect this data point, within a few weeks to a few months, whenever we do this, whenever the retail shows up, the dumb money shows up to this market, after all the years of us smart money buying the blood, fear and depression, whenever this happens, it's a trigger point for the dump, basically, where the smart money, which is us, we begin to dump on the dumb money, which is basically retail, the blue line. So we've got to be very careful here, going forward in this crypto market, that we may have hit some kind of top. So I'll go through that with you, what we need to see from Bitcoin in order for me to say, okay, all right guys, this is it, we're into the bear market right now. And at that point, I'll start to project to the downside. So let me show you exactly what them things are in today's video, going forward for Bitcoin. Okay, so looking at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, there's one key data point that I am looking for in the structure and the exponential moving averages, which is what we trade on this channel, okay, going forward from this particular point. So if at any point we do start to see something on the daily time frame, I do actually think it increases the probability of a bear market, and it's really, really simple, and it's something we have to respect, and I've been respecting on this particular channel for a very, very long time. For anyone paying attention, it's an EMA death cross, so we need to pay attention to that, because that for me will be a data point in time, and don't be disillusioned, it will come. That will be a data point for me at that particular time frame. Okay, you're looking at a bear market coming back. A lot of people say, "Idiot, I don't know what you're talking about," but I think what we've got here is really, really simple. We've got a 5-wave move up off this bottom in 2022. You've got a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into a 5. You're in your final 5th wave territory right now, and obviously Bitcoin can roll over at this point and you've entered the bear market or whatever, or it continues to come up the stairs and it breaks out, fantastic, gets to 150k, 200k and things like that. Like I said to you, I don't think there's that much appreciation from here to there. 59% whoopie do. We see them kind of moves on altcoins. This is why we've been allocating into altcoins, because at this period in time, if it's towards the end of the run right there, this is where the opportunity is in altcoins, and so far so good. Big tick, exactly as expected. We've seen that appreciation come to fruition on these altcoins. So basically it's really hard, and you will see a lot of people saying this is it, Bitcoin's topped and enter the bear market, or Bitcoin's going to 200k, 300k, 400k, whatever. It's just data, and there's one key data point that I need to see in the charts right now for Bitcoin that I think will say, okay, we've entered a bear market, and okay, we can say, okay, the retail tops here, retail's showing up, this is it, this is the top, all out guys and things like that. Well, that's absolutely possible. You can walk away if you want and things like that, but I just need to see a little bit more data in the Bitcoin price action before I can jump up and down and say, right guys, we've got an increased probability here of a bear market. And it's really, really simple. If we move to the left, okay, look at this, you're coming up on EMAs, beautiful, 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 beautiful. You're going exponential, you're taking off into space. There was one key trigger point, and I relayed this to you, and it was a reason why I was extremely bearish. For anyone paying attention, there was a beautiful reversal pattern, beautiful rising wedge. Look at that, 3 points of resistance, 1, 2, 3, 3 points of support, break down a third point, back test of resistance, and then to accompany that, what did we see? We saw the 20 and 55 EMA death cross. Go back to the videos at the time. That was my minimal target, and then we lost it. Boom, the 28k buyback was beautiful. So this was the beginning of a major crash and correction for Bitcoin, a massive monster ABC zigzag in my opinion. Now what gave us the clue? Well, after all this exponential price action coming up the stairs and breaking out and taking off in space and stuff like that, we got a key clue to the future of Bitcoin's price action. It was simple. It was a 20 and 55 EMA death cross. If we go back in time and respect it here as well, take a look at this big exponential move for Bitcoin. You're holding EMAs, holding. You break down, you get the death cross, confirmation of a big macro correction coming in for Bitcoin. So we don't quite see it yet, and this is one of the key data points. If I'm respecting data, which is what I've done for many years with yourselves, at this point we don't quite see it after a big 5-wave move up. So if we take a look here, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we started the roll, we got the death cross here, which indicated, okay, you're coming for your macro ABC, which was a flat correction, A, B, C. Then from this point here, we had a huge, beautiful third wave in my opinion, and from here we got a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 set up, a nice little 5-wave move up, which pierced the all-time high in my opinion. Like I said to you, I think that's the all-time high. That's a bull trap. I've gone through that analysis with you many times, but at that point what we did, we rolled over, and when we got this def cross, this was confidence of the fact, just like this def cross here. Okay, you've got your macro ABC correction, and then what we're looking for at the bottom of this correction is a reversal pattern, which we got, which is what we got here, your bump and run pattern, and which is what we got here, the beautiful Adam and Eve bottom pattern as well. So we traded that bottom pattern, we traded that bottom pattern, and we traded that bottom pattern, for anyone paying attention. So again, this is more data that I'm looking for in the structure and the price structure, and most importantly EMAs. We don't quite see it yet. So this is what I'm looking at. If we do start to break down for Bitcoin, if we start to roll, if we lose the 55 EMA, which is your red line, which currently sits at roughly 86,739 in time, whenever it is, even if Bitcoin breaks out again, whenever it does this, whenever it loses this 55 EMA and the 20, and you start to roll over and you create your def cross, that for me is your confirmation of your bear market beginning, okay, or a massive macro correction, because from here you've got a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4. This def cross indicated your wave 2, this def cross indicated your wave 4, this def cross will indicate your macro correction. Really simple, because it's the top of 5 waves. Okay, I hope you're staying with me right now. So that's what I'm looking at. I just need to see a little bit more confirmation. Obviously we could call tops here and say, okay, Bitcoin's going to do something like that, but obviously I need a crystal ball, I can't see into the future. So this is why I'm relying on the price structure and data, so stay tuned for that. So to get the EMAs into your charts, really simple. There's a tutorial that I've made in the Bitcoin video right there, it's in the description, how to get EMAs into your charts, how to set up your charts. Really simple. It's a 20 EMA and a 55 EMA. Historically at this point, towards the end of a bull run, whenever we see the def cross on the 20 and 55 EMA, that is always indicative of a bigger macro correction, especially after a big 5 wave move up like that. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that data point to kick in, because I think at that point, okay, we've got to kick back and at that point project lower. So on the lower time frames, you can clearly see we're coming up, we're ramping up, we're going sideways into this resistance. We've got the EMAs, we're currently finding support on the 20. If we do begin to break down below the 20 and lose the 55, we really are increasing probability that, okay, retail's showing up right at the top and we are entering a bear market at that point. But for me to say right now, which is what a lot of analysts are doing and things like that, without more structural data in the charts right there for Bitcoin, that we have entered a bear market, I'll be kind of talking out my bumhole, okay, and not relying on the data points, which, give us them validations going forward. So looking at Bitcoin on the hourly time frame, there is a potential trade set up here, and again this is a neutral pattern. A lot of people are biased, they'll say that this is a bullish pattern or a bearish pattern. This in my opinion is a neutral pattern. It's called a symmetrical triangle. You've come up into it, so the increased probability obviously is something like that, which is what we all want to see. But these are neutral patterns. You could say, okay, we've topped and come down into it and we're compressing for the continuation. This is why it is actually a neutral pattern. It's a 50-50. So what we do tend to do as traders, myself, I look for the sense of direction in this particular pattern. We're getting compressed from left to right, really compressed. Look at that. If we break this resistance, I'll absolutely jump into a long and stop loss pivot low. If we break support, I'll absolutely jump into a short and trade the pattern break basically. So stay tuned for that. I keep you updated as best I can. It's a lot easier for me to get these trades out in real time as a compression and expansion occurs. If we start to see it, I will post it in the Discord setup right there and just trade the direction of this particular pattern. And again, remember, there's no bias on this channel. We trade the ranges, we trade the patterns. If this breaks down, I'll go short. If it breaks out, I'll go long at this point, okay? But I do think if you are buying Bitcoin right now, you've got an increased probability of a bear market, because we are in an expansion of 5 waves, and what we're looking for to confirm the bear market and a bigger macro correction going forward is really simple. It's the 20 and 55 EMA def cross. So stay tuned for that, okay? It's a key data point going forward. So I'll keep you updated in Discord as best I can, but from left to right, compression leads to expansion. Something will give it, and obviously what I would like to see, as a basically a holder of crypto, I would like to see that. Absolutely, and I hope that that's exactly what we get. But going forward, just stay tuned for the update. There is a compression leading to expansion pattern breaking here. Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay off, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Bye bye.